Everyone likes to go to Gold Shore. It's a popular inn. Me, I like to hang out by North Shore and watch the newbies train. Ah, such young spirits. You're going to become a trainer the way you like to hang around here. I have no such intentions. They just remind me of when I was young. No bloodshed yet. Ah, but we all must learn. Do you like to come here and mess up my peace? If it means you will find a different spot to find peace, then I'm finding my plan is working. I rolled my eyes. Don't you have some place to be, like the Badlands? Hell, maybe even Outlands? Why would I go there? They don't have you there. The guard laughed, ha ha ha, and started to walk away. As he said, you should go visit your parents. They miss you. I haven't spoken to them since I had left for Theramore. They hadn't approved of my class change. I was training to be a mage, but I just couldn't get the spells right. Once I met Jared and started practicing as a paladin, did I see where I belong. Do they? I thought. I remember the last time I saw them, I was in full-on paladin gear, beaming with pride. In disgust, my father said, "Why didn't you just sign on to be a priest?" My mother said, "What's wrong with mages?" All those months of training with Jared and actually being good at something now was a stain of embarrassment to my family. I ran out and haven't returned since. It began to rain. I walked along the lake. The wolves and murlocs among the area kept their distance. They knew who to mess with. I found myself aimlessly wandering around Elwyn Forest until I ended up in front of the main building of Cathedral Square, Cathedral of Light. Okay, feet, let's say hello. I walked in and said hello to the fellow priest. If you're looking for your father, he went with your mother to the orphanage. Thanks, I mumbled. My father took his priestlyhood very seriously. I walked in to find my mother creating food for the children. She always was one to care for the hopeless. She looked up and stared. She tapped my father. He made a face and walked over to me. Oh, so you're back from your adventures? Yes. How are you and Mom doing? By the light, we are just fine. I nodded. Silence. Well, this was nice. I, got to get going. Have you come to change your class, Alex? Mother, I told you. I've already picked one, and it's very similar to a priest. My father scoffed. Mother looked like she was going to cry. It is. I have healing abilities, and you're not even a priest, Mother. Mages are just as respectable. And so are paladins. I did not raise my daughter to be smashing things about. I'm just as good as the both of you. They laughed. At least I'm not the cowards in the back. I'm front and center when the enemy strikes. I walked out, not hearing another word, called my griffin, and flew into the air. To where? Who knows? I went through Elwyn Forest to the creepy lands of Dustwood. I have been through these lands on foot, running errands that the town people needed for coins and experience, proving myself as a paladin with Jared. Tears falling from my eyes, I headed back home to Loch Moden. I have built a small cottage there. Hey, honey. He saw the look on my face. What's wrong? I saw my parents. Oh, it didn't go well, did it? It never does. And I'm guessing you didn't get around to telling them? His dark iron features staring at me lovingly. I couldn't. They were too concerned with me being a paladin still. Jared sighed and hugged me. You always have a home with my clan. I hugged him back. What would I do without you? Probably get yourself killed. We laughed. 2 years later, Azeroth rumbled and chaos ensued. What's going on? Jared grabbed me and Alexis. "Get to the basement!" We ran, not knowing what was happening on the outside world. After a bit, he signaled for us to stay put while he assessed the situation. He pushed open the door with quite a bit of force. He heard something in the sky. What is that? Didn't I tell you to stay put? Do I ever listen? I had my mace ready with our child strapped on our back. You aren't serious, are you? Something threatens my family. Wings could be heard, getting closer and closer. They both looked up and saw a huge dragon? What the? Get down! Heat filled the air. Fire was all around. Jared saw Alex laying face down on the ground, not responding. Alexis wasn't moving either. Jared cried out. He quickly held his family and used his hearthstone to go to the city of Ironforge. He was greeted by his sister Telga, who rushed towards him. Quickly, we don't have much time. Bringing them to the side of a building room, several priests stood by and ready to do whatever Telga had asked. A powerful bright light beamed. Both Alex and Alexis grasped for air. You're lucky, little bro. Many did not make it. Jared hugged Telga. Thank you. Don't mention it. We're family. Just make sure they rest. They're not 100% at health yet. I opened my eyes to find Jared looking at me. He was scared, maybe? I couldn't tell. I was too weak. He was holding Alexis. I hope she's alright. The last thing I remember was seeing that dragon. Rest, my love. Regain your strength. He kissed my forehead. A few days later, I watched Jared raise Alexis in the air. I looked around the stone walls, the heat of the great forge reminding me of the heat from that dragon. Our home was destroyed. He was lucky to find some of our weapons, clothes, and other items. Telga was nice enough to have us stay with her. I don't know how she was able to get so many priests to help us. She too was supposed to be a priest, but chose to be a shaman. I tried to reach your parents, but they not politely, told me they had no daughter if she is a paladin. I told them about what? Well, you and Jared and the fact that you literally died. They said it was probably for the best. They don't know you survived. Well, I guess it's for the best then, so listen. You got us. I mean, my rents weren't happy about my choice either, but cheered me on. If they can't, they don't deserve you. I nodded as she hugged me. That's the last hug. I'm not a hugger. I laughed. Gotcha. The Alliance had briefed us on the dragon that had destroyed not only our home, but several areas throughout Azeroth. I had asked if my parents were okay. They were. And that was that. Jared went off to face whatever trials awaited us in the new Azeroth, while I watched the dwarves fight amongst themselves. I told Jared that whenever he settled, I will join him with Alexis. I was still perfecting my class, learning new spells, and being a mother. I didn't want to explore the new areas just yet. Alexis needed me, and as much as I hated being away from Jared, I knew he would find us a new home. It's not that I'm not grateful for Telga, but I know she likes her space, and she goes somewhere within the city to practice when I know she would usually do it in her own home. After 2 years, I think we're overstaying our welcome. After going over countless lands, the back and forth, we settled on a building in a new home area near Ares Peak in the Hinterlands. To our surprise, Telga was heading off to the Twilight Highlands to help out the cause, and asked if we could join her. Oh, come on, Alex. We have our rents to watch little Alexis. For how long? As long as you want. It'll be fun. Jared smiles at me. You could test out your new spells. I sighed, alright. Yay! Let's go. In order to be allowed to join the fight, we had to first speak to the King of Stormwind, who gave us directions to go to the harbor and speak to a guy named Fargo, to be able to get on a boat to the Twilight Highlands. When we arrived at the Highlands, we immediately sprung into action, killing any Horde member that dared test us. After that, we did a couple of errands like collecting cannons, supplies, and we even had gotten blasted out of a cannon. A typical day of an adventure. Moving on, we next had to kill Naiga and other annoying sea creatures I can't stand. I decided that that was enough fun for me and wanted to go home to my child. Alright, I'm calling it. Wait, what? There's still so much to do in this zone. I could always come back. Jared and Telga looked at each other. Honey, Alexis is fine. Oh, I know. You were having so much fun, and now I'm over it. What's wrong? Nothing. I just want to go home. I'm tired. He sighed. You could stay. I'm not asking you to leave. I'm not gonna have you go by yourself. Hey, little bro. It's fine. Thanks for joining me. Another time then? Telga got on her mount and headed out. The ride back was uneventful, quiet. I knew he wanted to stay, and he very well could have. But I don't like being away from Alexis too long, especially since I almost lost her. Was it really you just being tired, or... I don't like being away from Alexis too long. It comes with the territory. It doesn't have to. We got back, the days, months, and years went by. Heard the various tales from Telga and others of what was going on. But once we came back home, Jared and I had a long talk, and we realized that being together was more important than the faith of Azeroth. Bottom line, we did not want to lose each other. One day, we will join the good fight. There's always one. But we were more important. Alexis is growing up and enjoying studying being a rogue. Interesting choice. But I support her in any way that she needs. I never saw my parents again. That's okay. I build my own family. Jared and I plan to grow old and hopefully get to be grandparents. The life of an adventurer.